pound Swiss. It traded all the way up to the 169.45, and then it came back below it. This is where you should take your profits and go short. So this here, okay, this is the pound CAD. Okay, this was what was going on last week. It came above the 162.60. Let me show the radar screen. What we have on the radar screen. So on the radar screen, our long point was above the 164. And our structure point is the 164.95. And we had a buy point. We were going to go long above the 166.20, and it took us all the way up. And as soon as it went above the 169.45, you bring your stops right there. You push us. That's exactly what I was telling you. And the other thing, when it trades below the 159.80, you bring your stop now to protect your profits at the 150. Right here, you would have taken your profits at the 169.45, and if you wanted to reverse, you would have taken the reverse to the downside. And as you see, the move from 169.45, it took us to 167.69. It took a couple of hundred pips in at least in one day. I mean, this is like a 2-day move. You had about 200 or 300 pips on that. And that's, again, it's an indication of the weakness of the pound. So, having said that, this means that the pound is still weak, but we also have seen that the Swiss franc is getting pretty close to having a structure point. To having a structure break to the downside. So in that case, I want to be cautious about shorting the pound Swiss. I want to be cautious about shorting the pound Swiss. Why? Because I have seen in the daily charts, based on the index, that the Swiss is coming very close to a break point. Let me show you so I can remind you quickly. Let me show you. This is the Swiss franc on the week. Hold on. That's the Swiss franc on the weekly chart, and this is our structure point right there. So we have tested it last week, and we just bounced off of it again because of the sell-off that came into the dollar the last couple of days. But if the dollar begins to gather strength again, this should decline. And if it breaks below the 95.22, this means that we are going to get a major sell-off in the Swiss franc, and of course it will be accompanied by the gold, and that of course will be supportive to the pound Swiss. So I want to be very cautious about shorting the pound Swiss. Why? Because we have seen that by looking at the Swiss franc, there is some weakness that's coming into the Swiss franc, so I don't want to jump in taking the short without being careful or making sure that I can control my risk. So this way, I want to be short. I want to be selling the pound Swiss, but I still have to be careful, and I have to find a buying point rather quickly for the. Again, the 169.45 is still my structure point. My structure short is still the 166.200. And if we sell off, we'll come back to the 166.20, then this will be where we're going to cover our shorts or our target. We have one here, 167.92. Okay, so for the pound Swiss, again, I want to be short. So we're going to short the pound Swiss on a trade below. So let's take the daily low. 167.48. So I'm going to be shorting below this, and I can put my stop above for the short 167.92, and my buying point is going to be 68.87. Okay, and if I buy it above 168.87, then I'm going to put my stop, because now this is going to be a reversal and a capitulation to the upside. So I'm going to put my buy stop below 106, 168.61. So on the upside, my stop is going to be rather small, because now this will be a turnaround and it should give me a big move to the upside. So if I take it above 168.87, I'm going to put like a 20 pip stop on that. But to the downside, again, I have to use in this case, about a 40 pip stop. I really don't understand what you're saying, Leonard. Could you rewrite it again, because you have some spelling mistakes? I can't tell that. So the pound Swiss, I'm going to buy 0.6087. And we are going to sell it 164, 167.48. And the structure point to the upside is the 169.45. And the structure short is the 166.20. Okay.